And we are live for an Easter Sunday live stream. Day 3 of the 4-day weekend. Hello, Megaleech and Luke. How are you going? Good to see you. And yes, anyone watching this back at a later date, thank you. Nice to have you along. Maybe, have me on in the background while you do stuff. Or pretend that you're actually interacting with me. That's okay. Imagination is a wonderful thing. We should do it. And because this is still a holiday weekend, don't have to get up tomorrow. I think I'm going to start with a cocktail as well. I know we're doing it because I saw this on YouTube. You probably won't be surprised to learn that I subscribe to quite a lot of YouTube cocktail channels. They're always looking for ideas. I saw one, and I'm going to mutate the thing. He called it a white chocolate rum Negroni, and I'm going to change basically all the ingredients the guy I watched make it. That sentence got really difficult. I watched someone make it with a set of ingredients. While I am inspired by that, the ingredients are going to be almost totally different to his, except in the most generic way. He went for a very specific rum. I'm going to be using a different rum. He had this apparently what sounds like a fairly involved process to infuse Campari with white creme de cacao butter. I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to use Campari because I have a personal vendetta with Campari. I'm going to use a different bitter aperitif, and I'm just going to use some white creme de cacao liqueur. And there was also the vermouth and ancho reyes. For fun, put a bit of ancho reyes. I have that. That's the one thing I'm using exactly the same as him. Big Pat, how are you, buddy? Happy Easter to you as well. Good to see you. So the only ingredient I'm using that's exactly the same as the video I saw is like a quarter of a shot of ancho reyes chili liqueur, just to give it a bit of bite. I'm going to use a different vermouth to what he used. A different rum and a different aperitif. Hey, look, I'm starting with you. I'm doing that. Strictly Sega, hello, good day to you. Yes, so I'm gonna make that to get me going. Luke, I have not heard from Aidsy. Why don't I text him? And see what he says. We will see what he says. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Wrong application. That's not the messages. How's Easter treating you? Because things have not been treating him well. So we shall see if you're not going to be on again. I am fine and dandy today, thank you, Big Pat. Not as tired as those yawns might make it seem. I'm not really tired. Yawns are just a thing I did, and now I'm thinking about them. And of course, yawns are contagious. I'm probably making people watching yawn. I'm making myself yawn. Just thinking about it, going, oh my God, I'm going to yawn again. I've been taking it easy. I've been watching some movies, playing some Far Cry 5. Yes, Sega. How cool was our petrol station tour last night? Courtesy of Gecko. Everything's bigger in Texas. That's what they say. Yes, the old 50 pump, and just the convenience store section of the petrol station was as big as a fucking Target. It was huge. It was so big. Oh, and the wall of beef jerky. Oh. I'm hoping I get these yawns out of my system and they just go away. which makes as much sense as anything, quite honestly. Yeah, the wall of beef jerky was pretty wild. Yeah, it's the nature of those convenience stores in America. And like I said last night, when I was in the US and tooling around, whenever we stopped at a petrol station or went past a convenience store or a bodega or anything, I was compelled to go in, and I just had to get one thing, one weird thing that it wasn't possible to get in Australia, whether it was a weird soft drink or energy drink or a flavour of chips, and or confectionery, chocolate, candy, that sort of thing. Yes, and the car wash was long too. That neat conveyor belt. Hello, Annette. How are you this evening? Pat, you're working on your YouTube. Well, that's a good thing. I might work on my new YouTube tonight. Make a video while you all are watching, where I'm going to compare variations on a sidecar, one of my favorite cocktails. Done 3 different ways, and so we do it. But I am going to make that first cocktail. I need to. This is a stirred one. I was just turning over in my head. Oh, I don't think I unpacked the dishwasher. I washed everything I used last night, and so things I want will be in the dishwasher. I better get them. Let's go over here. Okay, my stirrer. Definitely need that. Stirring glass, my jigger. Shakers in there, a few drinking glasses in there, like stirring spoon. Look, stirring spoon. Ooh, and what is this called? I think it's called a Collins strainer. Is it a Collins strainer? I'm gonna look it up. I used to know what it's called. Okay, so I got that. Got to put a big block of ice in my mixing glass. Maybe even 2 big blocks of ice. Really go to town with the ice. Adriana, hello to you, and happy Easter. Big Pat, you're working on TikTok. Have fun with that. I've decided not to even try TikTok. It's all too much to learn something new. I'm old, and I don't like change. Right. Stirring things. Now, I am just going to use, where is it? My Captain Morgan rum. I better get, where's my special thing? This one. Bitter de Chambre, a cherry bitter aperitif from the good people at Dolan. I need my white creme de cacao and anchores. Hola. Okay. And vermouth. I knew it. My subconscious is going, there's something else. Get some vermouth. I might need some more of this soon. Almost out of the sweet vermouth. Okay. Okie dokie. And I'm really sold on this stuff. Maybe I'll try another upmarket vermouth. It's way better than cheap shit. And I don't always think that. You shouldn't get really cheap crap, but David Blumenstein, good evening to you. Mr. Well, Stella, hello, good evening. Yes, listen while you do the dishes. I'm oral wallpaper. I'm completely okay with that. Just keep the chat happening. So I'm gonna mix this. Rum is the centerpiece. Well, not that much of it. I'm just doing 1 ounce of rum, and I decided not to use the overproof rum. I thought I'd take it easy. So 1 ounce of the rum. Now, I got the bloody banana one again instead of the white creme de cacao because they're in the same shaped bottle. Did that last night too. Right. Right. So I'm improvising off what the thing I saw was. And I'm going to do 1/2 ounce of creme de cacao, white creme de cacao. So this is going to be a nice red color, this drink, I think, because I'm also going to use 1/2 ounce of this bright red Dolan Bitter de Chambre cherry bitter aperitif. instead of using my nemesis. We shall not speak its name because my brain has stopped working. And this nice Australian vermouth that I made, it's got all the Australian botanicals flavouring it. Half an ounce of this. And final thing, just for fun and a bit of zing, teeny bit of Ancho Reyes chili liqueur, like 1/4 of an ounce. Just gotta be very careful, just put a little bit. That's about 1/4 of an ounce. That'll do. Right. Is Strictly Sega right? Big Pat, you do your karate moves on TikTok? That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Gotta stir my drink. Which will both chill it, and it's a tiny bit of Campari. Yes, everyone loves my Campari story. I drink a lot of bitter things. Campari, I just can't get on board with. And with Negroni being like one of the most popular cocktails, I just don't like Negronis because they're always made with Campari. No, it's not anchovy, Strictly Sega. It's just its name. I think that might be a person's name, Ancho Reyes. Ancho Reyes Verde. It's a chili liqueur. It's not anchovy. I may have slurred when I said Ancho Reyes. I don't know. I think that's maybe just someone's name, or that's the region's name. What's this tasting like? Oh, that cherry stuff is good. Man, that goes through a spectrum. Okay, I've been chilling a glass. So I'll get that out of the freezer and put a big block of ice in it so it looks sexy. Put this in here, big block of ice. It just sits there. Don't have any of that fancy clear ice that some people have. Just so you're saying your girlfriend heard it as anchovies. No, it's not anchovies. Hey, Timothy, have I played any video games today? I have been playing a bit of Far Cry 5. I'm replaying it at a more difficult setting than the first time I played it. Something about spending Easter Sunday killing religious cultists is just kind of rewarding. Ooh, David, a hypothetical. A liquor collection from the 70s, some bottles opened and some opened. Which type of liquor would one survive and which are petrol? That is a very good question. Like, in general terms, if they've been opened, they've probably gone to hell. If it literally was from the 70s and they were opened, it's probably gone to hell because alcohol does have life shelf. If it hasn't been opened, depending on what it is, it's probably fine. If it was cheap and nasty to begin with, it's probably not great after decades. But if it's at all decent and it hasn't been opened, it should be fine. Opened 70s vintage is very high probability of being spoiled, like very high. I don't know if you want to taste test anything, but I think unopened is probably fine. But oh God, a glass boot full of cherries sounds well dodgy. Yeah, Johnny Walker Red is probably fine. If any actual liqueurs like this stuff, they're the things that are most likely spirits, whiskies, etc. Very likely to be fine, possibly even improved with the aging. Who knows? Fletcher, 30% of us have zombie virus system. What on earth are you talking about with zombie virus system? A syndrome. Why am I saying system? Syndrome. Timothy, have I played the story of GTA 5? I've played GTA 5, yes. What's the stuff? Oh, Galliano. Have you got some Galliano? That's in the 2-foot long bottle. The long sort of conical bottle. That's probably a 70s. It'd be Galliano. This is a weird mutated cousin of a Negroni. Oh, it works. There's like chocolate from the creme de cacao, and then the cherry from the bitter cherry. And it's not too bitter. I think the rum and the sweet vermouth, and like barely. Oh, there's a little bit of warmth from the chili as it goes down. So it's like, oh, Fletcher, toxoplasmosis. Yes, I've heard, particularly with cat owners, toxoplasmosis is pretty widespread. I'm not aware that it's particularly dangerous. No, hello, hi. Did I say hello? I'm saying hello now. Yeah, Galliano was a big 70s drink. They're the Italian ones. Like I had Cinzano, which is fucking terrible. These, because it was Italian, it was the height of sophistication. My mum used to drink Tia Maria. Or there was like a really sweet Italian wine. So I think it's like a fortified wine. It was, I can't remember what it's called actually. Marsala, that was it. My mum used to love a bit of marsala and lemonade. Choc cherry chili is good. David, do I stick to 2 standard drinks a day? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you can't tell if stuff's spoiled or not. Yeah, it depends what's in the opened bottles. If something is from the 70s and it's a liqueur and it was opened, I'd err on the side of caution and not touch it. But if it's unopened, particularly if it's a spirit like whiskey, I'm almost sure it would be fine. Luke, grandkids want to watch all my videos. That would be quite the education for them. Not when they're a bit older, because I freely admit my videos aren't really suitable for kids, what with the swears and all. So, oh no, this is actually pretty good. Yeah, I can't even taste the rum. That's the weird thing. It's got like Captain Morgan spiced rum, which I can't really taste. There's a bit of the chocolate from the creme de cacao. There's the bitter cherry from the Dolan bitter cherry. It's probably being smoothed out by the vermouth a bit, and just the tiniest little bit of heat from the chili liqueur. Ha! David, the open stuff has been tested on a campfire by engineers. What, to see if it would burn, like if it still had alcohol, or did they drink it around a campfire? That's the question. Yes, Fletcher, yes. I think you're right. Galliano from a Carlton pizza shop, yes. Ooh, yeah, no, I can feel the chili in my tummy. Ooh, okay. Adriana, your pop had 2 drinks. 1, 2, 1, 2. Strictly Sega, 100 angry Aussie videos in one sitting. That is a bit much for anyone. But yes, there are many hundreds to watch for anyone who feels like inflicting that sort of thing on themselves. And hey, I can't stop people. Someone wants to bloody inflict that sort of punishment on themselves, they can go ahead and do it, I guess. It's just a weird form of self-flagellation. They tested alcohol content versus kerosene by throwing it on a fire. 1 or 2 had some kick. Yes, yes. Of course, it varies. Alcohol is really weird. I mean, normally to really burn with really readily with fire, it has to be overproof. So it has to be over 50% alcohol, and then that will readily burn. Lower alcohol, like standard spirits, about 40% alcohol. They burn better if you warm them up first. But yeah, it's if you want it to uh, um, burn readily, it basically needs to be over 50% alcohol. True, Fletcher, I did blast Howard back in the day with the masks and all that. Tony Abbott when he was around, of course. Oh, so you like the KFC upsizing one. And that is a literal true story. Like, I basically didn't exaggerate that at all. I'll give the short version for people who don't know what it is. I was talking about, I was living in sort of inner West Sydney, as this is around Ashfield, inner West Sydney. And you do get a fairly big migrant population there. And there's like this Chinese granny and her granddaughter in the KFC, and the daughter's just dragging around the granny and saying, "Get that, get that." And the granny did not speak much English. She did speak some English, but she didn't speak much English. And the horrible little bogan girl behind the counter was clearly racist as fuck. And there was no need to be. Like, the order was very clear. The little girl was saying that one and that one, and the granny saying, yeah, that one and that one. And then this little bogan with a horrible bogan accent says to granny, just with no preamble, with no explanation, just goes, up, and what she meant to convey to the customer was, hey, for an extra $1, you can get a large chips and a large drink. We call that upsizing. Do you want to upsize that meal? Because you chose a meal. But she offered no explanation, and she had this, I could barely understand accent, where she went, upsizing, and Granny's going, what? And then Bogan Girl's getting really upset because Granny can't understand simple English, which is this random collection of syllables that she was shooting out her nose, and she never explained it. She just kept repeating with no explanation, upsizing, upsizing, and Granny's like, what? And I was, oh my God, I was going to reach across the fucking counter and slap her, or at least tell her, explain what the fuck you are talking about, you fucking rude moron. The idea that she could blame Granny for not being able to understand this unintelligible nasal whine, just a random selection of noises she was making, absolutely ridiculous. Ugh, but that's the upsize it story. Hey, Gecko. Sorry, I don't think I said hello. I was in the middle of telling you the story. Dave, the only overproof booze you've ever drunk is OP Bundy. And that stuff I have some kick. I do have some overproof rum, which is actually, I think, overproof Bundaberg is 70-something%. I'll do a quick search. Bundy OP rum at Liquorland costs how much and it has how much alcohol in it? $68. Oh no, it's 57.7. Okay, so I've got my overproof rum is 69. Nice. Oh God, they also do overproof rum and cola cans. 24 for $120. How much is that? That's like $5 a can. That's mildly expensive, but I suppose overproof rum, you're getting drunk a bit faster. That's mildly expensive, buying that much and it's still costing you close enough to $5 a can. Yeah, almost exactly $5 a can. Wow. I did that in my head, by the way. Fucking mathematics right there. Tim, would I get an Xbox One? Probably not. I've got a PS4. And I never buy new generations when they come out. I wait for them to settle down for a while. Like, I didn't get a PS4 till, I don't know, how long has it been out? I got it like a year or two after it came out. And it was the first of those consoles I got since a PS2. And I bought a PS2 when PS3 came out because PS2s were really cheap then. Can you use ethanol as a hand wash? Yeah, you could mix ethanol with it's like aloe vera gel. Depends what percent alcohol you're talking about. Like, if you're talking about, if you want it to be an effective germ killing hand wash, the whole solution has to be 60% alcohol. So there is that. Oh yeah, you're right, David. Most of the cost is taxed, and I think overproof alcohols attract a much higher tax rate, which I'm honestly okay with. David, sorry, I just saw you said you thought Bundy OP was 68%. It possibly was in different variations. It's not always the same year to year. Tricky say you were excited about PS5 because you heard they were going to be backwards compatible all the way back, but now it's only to PS4. Oh well. So Timothy, you're saying PS4 was 2013. Yeah, I only got a PS4 about 2 years ago, maybe 3. So it had been out for years. It had been out for years, and I finally got one. This is actually a good drink. I'm enjoying this. First mouthful, I thought it might have been a bit too bitter, but I think as it goes, like the ice is probably melting a bit and it's taking the edge off it. It's good. It's a good drink. Weird mutant cousin of a Negroni. David, what alcohol content is Everclear? I've heard conflicting things, but I thought Everclear was like the 95, over 90% alcohol, like it's clear grain alcohol. It's kind of like the Polish rectified spirit, which is about somewhere between 93 and 95% alcohol. That's what I thought Everclear was, but I've heard conflicting reports, or maybe they market it differently. Or, hey, we're on the internet. Let's have a look. Grain neutral spirit, which is, I think, a polite word for Everclear. God, that's 69.9%. Okay, that would be okay. So, like the Wikipedia entry. Okay, yeah, there are variations. I thought there must have been. It's some of it is 60%, 75%, and 95%. Thought I'd heard of it being a 95%, and they're also being so you can get 95% or 190 proof Everclear, and I'm really sure it's illegal in Australia. So this is the one from Masters of Malt. This is on sale, and it's only 69%, but it's only $40. Grain neutral spirit. Jesus, I might actually have to get that. Probably depends what their delivery cost is. I think I looked at something on this site to recently, and the delivery fee was absolutely fucking ridiculous. But now I'm probably going to look into that. Hey, yes, you could wash your hands in that. Oh yeah, Gecko's confirming 95% Everclear. You'd probably run a car on that. Don't think it'd be very good for the engine, but technically it probably could. Oh, God, you still play some... See, I never had a PS3. I went from PS2 to PS4. Jesus, Gecko, you got to be careful drinking the 95% straight, because it's obviously one shot of that is, you know, near enough to like 3 shots of vodka. If you know what you're doing and you take it in moderation, like, okay, sure. But there were actually some deaths in Australia, usually from young folk who are being very stupid and doing repeated shots of the rectified spirit. Super easy to die from alcohol poisoning because there's so much alcohol in it. You can consume a lot of it before the alcohol actually, like before you even start to feel drunk, before you start to feel sick. If you're doing shots, you can consume a fatal dose of alcohol before you even particularly feel drunk. That's obviously a bad thing. We don't want people dying unnecessarily. Anyone who fucking, I say this a lot, but anyone who peer pressures people with alcohol, like there was a story, some girl on 18th or 21st got convinced by someone to do shot after shot of this Polish rectified spirit, 95% alcohol, and she died. I don't know if she had been told what she was drinking, but the person who kept giving her shots probably went to prison. They fucking should, for manslaughter. Absolutely despicable behavior, coercing someone to do multiple shots of high alcohol, high alcohol booze. I'm quite happy with that. Anyway, 8:30. Luke, does Everclear have any taste? It has like a paint stripper taste. With the Polish rectified spirit, which I did have some of, Aigsy and I, we actually made a video where we were doing that. We did actually taste it straight live. I used it to make a herbal tincture. I've actually still got the remains of that. I diluted it with vodka to make it a bit more tolerable, and I still actually have some of that. I've had it for years, at least 5 years. What I found was wild with this 95% alcohol. Your mouth is warm enough to vaporize it. So good, and held it on my tongue. So I put it on my tongue, and I could feel it volatilizing. You could actually tell that it was in effect boiling away just from the warmth of my tongue. You could actually feel it going. Yeah, not something I do a lot, but actually using it as a base for something to make your own liqueur or something. There's something to be said for that. But yeah, God, I'm probably gonna buy this grain neutral spirit. It's got to depend. Oh wait, okay. This same website had a really interesting sounding absinthe. I'm going to see if they still have it. Hendrick's absinthe. The gin people made an absinthe. There you go. La Fille Parisienne. Is that the one? Habsburg XC? Yes, 90%. Pernod absinthe, that's a traditional one, 70%. La Fille St. George, 70, 60, 55. Boo, wussy. 68. Habsburg Summer Fruits Absinthe for $80. Black Fruits of the Forest. I think red summer fruit sounds interesting. Psychopomp Absinthe. Tempest Fugit. Time Flies. Would if you drank too much of that. 70%, 64%, 70%, 72%. Well, so you're going 53%. You wuss. 62%, 72%, 62%, 45%. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. What are you even doing here? Okay, I'm going to see. I think this site has really outrageous delivery charge. Okay, the other thing, I see. I wonder if I'd find anything just by searching overproof on this site. Okay, overproof rum, 75%. That's pretty serious. Ray and Nephew overproof white rum. See, that could be good. An overproof white rum. 60%, 63%. Do we have something like an overproof gin? I don't really want an overproof gin. Rum bar overproof. Navy rum. 75%. That's getting serious for rum. Captain Morgan Black Label discontinued. That one's. A lot of these are sold out. That's interesting. God, a lot of these are discontinued or. All right, I'm going to have a quick look. The other one, I don't really want to order one now because I got some, but an overproof rye whiskey. Sazerac Straight Rye. Oh, yes, Rittenhouse. Well, that's a little bit cheaper than I had it. That's the one I actually got. Pikesville 110. Jesus, that's expensive. Bullet Rye. Yeah, I can get that from the shop. Knob Creek. 46%, 42%, 40%, 43%, 50%. Like, so there. And anyway, okay. I'm now going to proceed to check out. I've just been ignoring the chat. And I know a psychopomp is it's a religious thing. So sends you on the way to the afterlife, don't they? Gecko go. Yeah, no. The shipping would probably kill you sending a bottle of something, and it might get stopped by customs anyway. So I really arrives by Tuesday, 21st April. So they're saying a week to deliver. Okay. Oh wow, $50 or $45 for delivery. Yeah, that's like a third of the overall cost would be delivery. It's what it is living in Australia, man. Fucking hell. And yes, a spirit who accompanies freedom of the world to the afterlife or the underworld. I think in some religions, the religious person who actually gives you last rites is called a psychopomp as well. I think that version of a psychopomp who carries you to the underworld, that's Greek, isn't it? Is that Greek? That's part of the Greek mythology. That's what I was going to do. I'm going to make another cocktail before I go to make the one for the channel. Go to our friends at Difford's Guide. Cocktail of the day for 12 April. Tatler's birthday, so we're drinking a black rose. Why a black rose? A black rose is bourbon, cognac, grenadine, and Peychaus. I actually have all of that. And that sounds quite nice, honestly. It's also the New Statesman's birthday. It is anniversary of publication of some magazines. Established by a group of influential socialists, backed by playwright and intellectual George Bernard Shaw, among others. A left bank martini. And apparently, it's Thai New Year's Eve, which I didn't know. That's an interesting one. It's in a left bank. Gin, elderflower liqueur, a white wine, and vermouth. Not really interested. Captain Phillips. Oh, okay. That Tom Hanks movie, Captain Phillips. On this day in 2009, the real person was rescued by Navy SEAL Team 6. And they have a Captain Collins, which is a variation of a Collins. Canadian whiskey, lemon juice, sugar syrup, and soda water. So it's basically, that's basically an old-fashioned done as a highball, which is not that interesting, honestly. And we're talking about with the psychopomp was Greek. Hecate was prepubescent girl with a torch. She met dead, took them on the way. That sounds about right. Rambling Johnny, you heard the psychopomp in the Dunwich Horror. I heard it in Neil Gaiman's Sandman, actually. Wrestling days, Big Pat, your best friend's birthday. Happy birthday to your friend, whoever that may be. I have no idea if I've ever met them. Oh, I'm kind of tempted. What was that? I think there's one I made the other day. It's called some variation of a white Sazerac. Turn the following results. All right, I'm just going to search Sazerac then and see what comes up. Cocktails, the Sazerac, the JP Sazerac, Highland Sazerac, Sage Sazerac, Chocolate Sazerac, Grand Sazerac. Maybe it was a chocolate Sazerac. I think it might have been a chocolate Sazerac. Let's have a look. Absinthe, bourbon, white creme de cacao. We did make that. Wait a sec. I'm sure I found this. It was Moonshine. They said use Moonshine as an ingredient. No. I should write these things down. I found something I liked, and poutine. Oh, this actually says poutine. That's weird. Poutine, Lily Blanc, Gentian liqueur. Should I have elderflower liqueur? Rosemary sugar syrup, orange bitters. Well, now I feel compelled to make that because I've actually got poutine, and it's got poutine. Moonshine martini, gin, maraschino liqueur, vermouth, and absinthe. That's an interesting variation on a martini. I have to make this one with poutine, though. Yes, that's it. Now look at me. I'm the captain now. Oh, your best friend's name is TJ. I wasn't sure. TJ, happy birthday, TJ. Whippoorwill, it is vowed that the birds are psychopomps lying in wait for the souls of the dying. Yep, that sounds about right. That they're going to take your soul to the afterlife, possibly against your will from the sounds of that. All right. I use the same stirring in the same glass, actually. Just drink this. Ice has been melting. All right, so I'm going to make this Miss Moonshine. Got my poutine, which I got just for a laugh, really. Speaking of overproof, 52.5% alcohol. This would probably set on fire quite nicely. Okay. So 1 2/3 shot. Okay. Yeah. All right. Poutine. In you go. Lillet Blanc. I've got a bit of Lillet Blanc. Gentian. I don't have Gentian, which is a gin-based liqueur. I might, for a laugh, put something else in. Put this back. Lillet Blanc. A little bit of this. Just a little bit of this left. This will probably finish it, in fact. 2/3 of a shot. I'll just put whatever I have in here. It's about half a shot. That's fine. Maybe I'll put a bit of coffee Americano in there. Okay, one for the bin. This, this would make a good drinking glass if I had a glass cutter. I love tall drinking glasses, but I don't have one, so it's just going to go in recycling. Okay, elderflower liqueur. All right, I have some of that. Where is it? Where's the elderflower liqueur? Where is it hiding? Yeah. Okay. Elderflower liqueur. Got a, was it half a shot? Third a shot. Okay. Third of a shot of elderflower. I might, as the substitute for gentian, I might do liquor 43. Now, what one's that? What is that? Oh, that's my cognac. Yeah, I'll use it. I might use a bit of liquor 43 just because it's like a vanilla honey liqueur. Third of a shot of this. And there, this is a very yellow drink. Now it says rosemary sugar syrup. I've got some rosemary flavor and I've got some sugar syrup, so I'm going to improvise for those. Going to put just a little bit of Coca Americano, which is similar to Lillet Blanc. A bit drier, perhaps, just to cater for the fact I didn't have enough Lillet Blanc for the recipe. Now, okay, rose water flavor, which is here. And sugar syrup, which is where is my sugar syrup? There it is. Hiding over there, using my blue agave syrup. It's meant for cooking. Use it for booze. How much did I say? Only a third of a shot, so only a little bit of sugar syrup. Okay, sugar syrup. And I'm going to put some rose water flavor in. Just for fun, because it said to use rose sugar syrup. It's got a few flavors in this one. Okay. In you go. Now I've got to do the stir. That's all the ingredients. Right. What's everyone been saying while I've been doing that? Adriana, when you were younger, drink something called Mississippi Moonshine. Bought here in Australia. I did see what I thought was funny. So you could order online, and I did actually get one. Drinks marketed as Moonshine, but they were quite low alcohol. I still got it came in a jar rather than a bottle because it's trying to look like, you know, healthy people like Freedom Moonshine. It's called Freedom Moonshine. I got, and they're calling it Moonshine because they're saying it's unaged American rye. And this was apple pie flavored. For those who have seen the series Justified, you'll know why I got apple pie flavored moonshine. This is only 20% alcohol. So I just got it once as a novelty because, you know, it's not that fantastic really. Expect moonshine to be really high alcohol content. Yes, as expected, this is a very yellow cocktail. Big Pat, I don't know how AD is today because he hasn't replied to me. Wow, that's interesting. Wow, that's got some real flavors going on in there. Let's pour that into my glass. All right. No, you wonder if the moonshine came with a banjo. I think that was an optional extra. So it's a very amber colored cocktail, this one. Strictly Sega, your big memory from the Captain Phillips movie was his shock after being rescued. I don't remember it that well. I have watched it, but yeah. So Adriana in the day was a bottle. Remember making Coke taste like red cordial. It might be your memory. Could be. Oh, that's really interesting. It's good. There's a real balance because there's some sort of dry or even slightly bitter ingredients. I can taste the elderflower in it, and taste the rose. So it's very floral, as they say. Can't really taste the poutine, which is pretty fucking fierce because I did taste test it on the live stream when I first got it. Test it straight. It's pretty fierce. This is the second mixed drink I've had it in, and it makes quite good mixed drinks. So yeah, this is another winner. Okay, not necessarily, you know, my favorite of all time, but that's a pretty good drink. It's got very, like I said, very floral. If floral, it's a little bit sweet, not too sweet. Could probably, you know, put a splash of bitters. Actually, was I meant to put a splash of bitters in it? Yes, I knew I was missing something. I meant to put bitters in it. All right, I'm going to put a splash of bitters in it. I'm going to use the Peychaud's Creole bitters. It's funny, this is nagging at me going like, yeah, maybe it needs, you know, bitters. And the recipe did indeed say I should have put bitters, so I'll just stir it in the glass. Wow, Peychaud's bitters is red. So it's made the drink a bit redder. It's much more orange. It was a bit amber before. Now it's not much more orange. So yeah, it needed bitters. It was pretty good before. It was just a little bit sweet, not really too sweet, but a bit. And the bitters is balancing that out. Annette, if you like floral, get elderflower liqueur. You can get off-brand ones at, by what I mean, you know, like a Voc elderflower or the one I have. Where did I put it? I must have put it back. Yeah, there's an expensive brand of elderflower liqueur that I've had a couple of times, and it's good. It's good, but for making cocktails, there's was it Marie Brizard? It's the sort of stuff that's been in Australian bars since the 70s, home bars since the 70s. And it's not that expensive. You can get the versions like at Dan Murphy's and other places that aren't that expensive. There is probably still got the bottle. Like I kept the bottles because I like them. They're these really cool bottles. It's called Saint Germain or probably Saint Germain. Elderflower liqueur. It's very good. It's quite expensive though. Do a quick price. What the photon? I'm going to do a quick price comparison for you because that's the kind of informative guy I am. Elderflower. See what comes up. So the Saint Germain 750 mils is $65. Oh, if you're a member, which I am because I'm an alcoholic. 69. So 70 bucks for the Saint Germain. And that's 750 mils. And there is another brand called Edinburgh, which I have had, which is perfectly fine. And I think that's 500 mils for 35 bucks. So it's less volume, but much less money to lay out. And there's the Marie Brizard one I got, which is 500 mils, and that's like only 25 bucks. So that is way less than half the cost of the Saint Germain. And for cocktails, it's fine. If you were literally like drinking it straight, or maybe on the rocks, the Saint Germain is much better. But as a cocktail mixer, yes, and Dan Murphy's is delivering, but you're only allowed to order 2 things at a time. Each bit. That's the to stop people fucking mass purchasing in COVID-19 paranoia. You can only have 2 things here. But yeah, the Marie Brizard's only 25 bucks. So, and it's really good in cocktails. Yeah, particularly if you like floral flavors. Elderflower is a really nice mixer. You put it with nearly anything, just with some gin. You could even what would be a really refreshing drink? Gin, elderflower, and soda on ice. That would be a really nice drink. Tonic, if you got it, like gin and tonic with elderflower would be great. That would be a really nice drink. But literally with anyone. But it's the one I get now just because, fuck, man, I'm just mixing it in cocktails and just want the flavor. So, yeah, I did get a couple of times I got the Saint Germain because there was this gift pack where there was this huge decanter that came with it, like that gave you measurements on how to make particular cocktails and serve in this elegant decanter. And the booze plus the decanter in a gift box was $10 cheaper than just buying the booze. Like it must have been like overstock from Christmas or something. So now I've got a couple of these decanters and I never use them for anything. Maybe after our isolation is ended, maybe I'll have dinner parties or something where I'll use them. Big Pat, is my cat good today? They're pretty happy, man, because the heating was on. So they've just been lying on heat vents, and they love that. Imsy was sitting on my lap while I was finishing up watching classic The Aviator, Martin Scorsese film with Leo DiCaprio playing Howard Hughes. And God, for most of it, he just looked like a baby because it's like a 20-year-old film. He was playing Howard Hughes from the ages of about 20 to 45. That's how much it covered. Hughes died at 70. Like post about 45, his mental health declined precipitously. And certainly his last few years were very fucking fraught. But Leo played him from ages of about 20 to 45. And my God, he had this floppy fringe, which looked very 90s. And for most of it, he looked like a baby. And then he sort of got a bit rough and scarred and facial hair, which helped with the aging thing. But yes. Dan Hendricks made a floral gin they called Midsummer Sauce. See, you get a lot of limited edition variations on gin. That's a weird thing. I'm not a huge gin drinker. Mrs. Angry is more into the gin than I am. And I don't even know, like, if you blind up 4 supposedly completely different gins in front of me, I'm not sure if I'd even pick a significant difference in their flavors. But yeah, like gin lovers will go, oh no, there's a London Dry and there's slow gin and there's this, and and this one's juniper forward and this one's more floral, and I'm not sure I'd really tell the difference. But these days it's gin lovers' paradise, quite honestly. There are so many variations of gin in the shops, both from the big brands and from boutique makers. So yes, if you like gin, this is another one. Like it more as it goes along. That's one of my favorite things with cocktails, particularly if there's ice in them. It changes the profile of the drink a little. And so you don't scull cocktails, you sip them. And as a whole experience, it's taken me an hour to, this is only the second cocktail. Just sipping the cocktail, and it's a different experience over the life of the drink as you drink it down. And I'm liking that one more with each sip, quite honestly. Yeah, I saw that, Adriana. A lot of the local distillers, and they're mostly making gin. Some people make vodka, some people make whiskies in Australia, but there's a lot of gin makers in Australia, and they are making hand sanitizer. Apparently there's a degree of waste alcohol from distilling that they normally throw out, and they can use that to make hand sanitizer, which is interesting. And yeah, quite a few of the distillers in Australia are doing that. Still, you despise gin. Oh, but you did find a blackberry one that you liked. That's okay. Yeah, a while back, Mrs. Angry and I had a weekend away up past Geelong. Really nice place. There's a bunch of cool places. There's a place that does my favorite local cider, the Flying Brick cider, and they do really good food as well. And the place where we were staying was just up the road from Flying Brick, and we found there was a distillery nearby, and they are working their way up to whiskey, but whiskey takes a couple of years. And but they had gins, and so we went and had a gin tasting at this distillery, and that was a bit of fun. I strictly say, you're a gin person. You love there's a gin bar in Perth. You love all the different gins. Okay. Noogie Heard Brewdog was doing the, yeah, I think a lot of people are doing the hand sanitizer thing because they have the alcohol on hand to do it. So, is it kind of, people have a lot of things they say. If I won lotto, this is what I'd do. One of the things I would do if I won lotto is hire someone, a smart techie, like a junior, like someone who's maybe just out of uni, who's bright but doesn't have a lot of experience but knows their shit and whatnot, and it's like, you're my tech monkey, okay? Sometimes I'll want you to do really complicated things. Sometimes I'll want to encourage you, like, you can spend at least 50% of your time on whatever brainiac thing an app you want to develop, or a website you want to develop, and I'll bankroll you, and we go 50-50 in it, whatever. But you also, when I say be a junior, because 50% of the time you have to do shitty things for me. Like, I want someone to convert all my vinyl to digital format. So that would be a really boring thing that you'd have to do half the time. And, do things like just manage my sort of PC and my files. And one of the things I'd probably make him do is like, you have to progressively watch all my live streams where I was drinking and write down the drinks I make and what the ingredients are and how much I like them. Because in various live streams, I've made drinks I've really enjoyed and then totally fucking forgot. And so yeah, if I won lotto, I'd hire an underling. It's like, half the time you get to do fun stuff, but you got to brace yourself. Half the time you have to do like really fucking boring stuff. Just because I'm useless, you have to like fucking fix my PC so it's optimized. Upgrade my PC, help with my file storage, and yes, watch my old live streams and document all the drinks I made and with notes of how much I enjoyed them. So it would be fair trade, I think. You get to nothing. Well, Stella, you'd start a truffle farm and whiskey distillery. Nice. That would be good. Adriana, I'm working on the Angry Cocktail book. I've started a first new YouTube channel in, God, close enough to 10 years. It's probably at least 8 years since I started a new YouTube channel. And I started a new one for cocktails. It's off and running. It's got like 4 videos so far. I'm that industrious. In 1 week, I've put up 4 videos. But yes, kind of fun to start a new one. And also, but it will be a record of drinks I make. So some of them, I mean, so far the drinks on it have been, there were 2 introductory ones. One was my guide to how to set up your home bar. And the second one was like, secret of cocktail is there are only 4 cocktails. And once you work out how they're made, then you can just do variations on those 4 and experiment. Then I did one with an old fashioned, where with my friend Taz, I went through and said, okay, this is the basics, but then you do this and explain, this is why you add bitters because it changes the taste, and this is why you do a garnish because it changes the taste again. And then there was the one that I actually filmed on the live stream, videoed on the live stream, and I edited it and put it up. So I was making whiskey sour with 3 different whiskeys and comparing. And second half of this live stream, I'm going to do that again in that I'm going to record. I'm going to set up my camera just over there, and I'm going to record as I make 3 variations of a sidecar. It's probably my top 2 cocktails, top 2 simple cocktails are the sidecar and the whiskey sour. Love them. Brian, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Over on the Facebook, Adriana's on Facebook as well. And who knows who else is on the Facebook. It's a mystery. These mysteries happen. So yeah, a sidecar is quite simple. It's the same formula as a margarita and a lot of cocktails in that it's a spirit, a fruit liqueur, and citrus juice. Oh, yeah, I have seen that, Brian, actually. A lot of people trying to use their 3D printing to help with protective equipment for hospital staff, which is nice. But yeah, the sidecar is the spirit is either brandy or cognac. I first learned it with brandy. Then I found out that people liked to make it with cognac, which is basically an expensive version of a brandy. Because there's a whole spectrum. I now just feel compelled to get a Wikipedia rundown of what brandy actually is. Brandy is it's a wine-based spirit, and brandy is generally 35% 55 to 60% alcohol. Most commonly in Australia, brandies are 40%. Yes, in a broader sense, the term brandy denotes liquors obtained by the distillation of pumice or mash or wine of any other fruit. So yes, so basically any fruit wine, as in, could be a grape wine. Cognac is a grape wine-based brandy, but you get apple brandy, peach brandy. You get basically any fruit-flavored brandy. So it's basically made by distilling wine with whatever flavor you like. So I learned to make a sidecar with brandy. Then I found out people liked making it with cognac, and cognac's just like an upmarket version of brandy. And I also have some Armagnac, which is basically cognac produced in a different region of France. Cognac is a name-based thing, I think. Again, I'm going to do the little search. I'm sure cognac is a region-based thing. Yes, it's a type of brandy. Yes, it's named after the commune of Cognac in France, and it's produced in the surrounding wine-growing regions. So yes, to really be a cognac, you have to be produced in a particular region. And I think Armagnac is just the same thing, distinctive kind of brandy produced in the Armagnac region of Gascony in southwest France. So yes, they're both wine-based brandies, and they're a bit upmarket because they're French and only from a particular area. So Brian, your next COVID-branded cocktail, print out the RNA of the virus. It's supposed to be printed out using 4 different colors to represent each base. Looks trippy and is 8 kilobytes worth of data. Nice. Now I'm going to look that up. COVID RNA. Let me have a look. Images. Oh, now they're just pretty pictures of what they're saying the virus looks like. And we've all seen that. It's like the ball with nodules coming out of it. That's how it's generally represented, but that's not the RNA. So I don't know where the thing you're talking about is, Brian. But that's okay. Don't need to know everything. Ah, okay, cool. Brian actually sent it. Let me wait. Ugh. I can't copy a link on this. Oh, wait a sec. I could probably get it off Facebook. Wait a second. I go on to Facebooky. That was Twitter, not Facebook. How weird is that? Okay, I clicked on the wrong thing. That's fine. These things happen. Facebooky. Okay. I'm live. Got to go and see the chat. Click to expand. On this. Oh, what? Wait, stop it. Stop it. I could probably get it off Facebook. Like 30 seconds behind. Ryan. Okay, yes, I can follow the link off Facebook. Hoorah! Okay. It just looks like random pixels. I'm going to show it to everyone. Franklin, happy zombie Jeeves. Oh, that's why I called this Zombie Oily Josh Day. And I meant to pose, who knows why I'm calling that? Who is Oily Josh? That is the big question. Who has heard of Oily Josh? And I'm just going to share the screen so you can see this imaging of the RNA sequence of COVID-19. So yeah, it basically looks like a random collection of pixels. But the person is assuring us this is actually a representation of the RNA sequence of COVID-19. Like in and of itself, that obviously means nothing, but this person has coded the RNA data so certain values correspond to certain colors. Like that's not what COVID-19 looks under a microscope or anything like that. That is a representation of the RNA sequence with numbers from the RNA sequence being equated with a color and then put together like that. But it's a fun representation. So there you go. Franklin, chocolate-themed rum in the works. I had several chocolate-themed cocktails last night, actually. So I maybe had enough of chocolate-themed cocktails. I use this ice for shaking, because sidecars are a shaken cocktail because there's citrus in them, lemon juice. So I might do that. I might get together my camera and stuff ready to actually shoot that. Yes, Sarah, it does look like one of those old 3DI pictures. I agree. All right, so talk amongst yourselves. I'll be off camera for a minute because I just got to go in the next room and get my tripod and camera and audio recorder. It won't take that long. I'll just go and do that. Go in here. Hello. Okay, I got my tripod. Now I just have to go get my camera and audio recorder. Okay, I'm back. Here I come. Closing doors. And I have my camera, my audio recorder. I just have to go over here, put the camera on the tripod first. Do that. I think I'm going to close this blind because I didn't like it with the reflections. No, that's the wrong thing. This one. Ugh. Okay, chair, come over here. Oops, what's that doing? There we go, there we go. All right. It'll be a neutral background. I think I'll prefer that. All right. What's been happening while I've been out of the room? So these shortages go much longer. You're going to sneak across the border to steal my flower stash. That's about half of a 5 kilogram bag left, and that's a 12.5 kilogram bag. That was literally, when I went to Costco. That's where I got the 5 kilo bag from Costco, which was pretty good. I went to Costco last week, and my choice was get a 12.5 kilogram bag of flour or get nothing. Seriously, Stella, if you were here, and if anyone's here, I would actually share the flour. Like put it in a container, do a social distancing thing, put it in a container and leave it out on the driveway so you can pick it up. Stricken saying you hate these blinds too. Yeah, this is a rental place. I wouldn't choose those blinds, but yeah. Miguelich, northwest coast of Tassie has been quarantined for the next 2 weeks. What are the rules for your quarantine during the 2 hospitals are closed, completely clean due to a bad outbreak of COVID. Ooh, I did not hear this. That's God. I hope you're all doing okay. Okay, now I need to put some of these bottles away so I have some room, and they all have their proper place. Okay, you go here. Captain Morgan, go over here with the other rums, vodkas and gins, and whiskies. I've only got one vodka and one gin. We've got several whiskies though. Okay, it's a Dolan, and you can go back in the fridge. The Dolan goes here. The Moose goes in the fridge. And the Ancho Reyes, you go over here. Maybe here. Today's going. Okay, so I want the brandy and the Armagnac. I need brandy and Armagnac. And cognac, which I just got from Costco last week and haven't actually opened. It's funny that this branding they put on brandies and cognac and Armagnac, VSOP, can be VS or VSOP, and it's hard to not fall into the trap of thinking OP means overproof. VS means very special. OP doesn't mean old peculiar. I need to look it up now because I forgot. VSOP. Old Pale. There you go. Designates a blend in which the youngest brandy is aged for at least 4 years. Okay, so VSOP means the youngest brandy in here is at least 4 years old. So this Napoleon brandy is VSOP. See, I'm fucking sophisticated. It's all fucking class at Angry Town. Oh, got Megalech, a bunch of medical staff got infected at a party, so that's great. They weren't meant to be at a party, I'm sure. Bobo, Days as a pizza chef, store your flour in a fridge or freezer for several days to kill off any weevils. Oh, that's a fun tip. Thank you for that tip. Excellent tip. Thank you very much. Tyrannical. What's my thought about Isaac Butterfield? I don't really know a lot about Isaac Butterfield. Yeah. I don't know what I can say. I've never really watched any Isaac Butterfield. Wait, what am I doing? Sorry, I was just trying to sort something out here. Okay, that's really weird. Sorry, I was just having a technical problem. Why is it? Sorry, I'm just having a technical problem. I don't know. Okay, whatevs. Go away, technical problem. Go away. Right, so yeah, these are all VSOPs. My Armagnac, my cognac, and my brandy. Means they're all at least 4 years old, aged at least 4 years. I will, because I've not opened this, so I don't have to mess around when I'm making the video. Gotta break the seal. Where's the thing that usually have something to make it easier to break the seal? Oh, yep, there it was. All right. Cognac. Megaleech, can he come into the chat if you speak? Yes, that wasn't a sad little boy. Oh, I love when the cork's just like a fart. Oh, that pop is so satisfying. That never stops being satisfying. That's actually quite a nice smell. Okay, I'm going to do a little taste test. I'm just going to get a shot glass do a taste test between the brandy, Armagnac, and cognac. See if my unsophisticated palate can tell you any differences between them. I have to admit, with Vsop Megaleach, my reflex is to say very special overproof, which is wrong. But my other one is Old Peculiar. I like calling it very special Old Peculiar, which I think sort of describes me. I think I'm special. Definitely old and peculiar, though. So I love that Musically Aviator where we had Isaac Butterfake and Fakey Geordies. That is good. Okay, thanks for that, Megaleach. VSOP stands for Vag Sat on Peony. All right, I'm going to have a little taste of brandy. That is probably more than I meant to. I don't want to. I really just wanted a sip of it. All right, so starting with the brandy, which is arguably more down market than the Armagnac and cognac, because they're sort of Poncy and come from a special region of France. Then Napoleon, they're calling this a French. I bet it's not even French. Napoleon French brandy. No, it's French. This is a French brandy. So I'm being a Poncy French drinker. Produced in France. Yeah. Okay. It's all French. Frenchy. Just not from a particular region. Okay. So the brandy. It's a really nice smell. It's a slightly sweet, fruity, winey smell. Oh, it's got a bit of heat. It's only 37% alcohol. Oh, and it warms you. It definitely warms you as it goes down. Slightly bitter in the mouth. All right, I'm going to have a little comparison of the Armagnac now. Little pop of the cork. Just come on, just a little bit. Get it right this time. Yep, got it right that time, just a little bit. I'm going to make you go sit in the naughty corner, Megaleach. Vag sat on peen, honestly. Honestly, we're more adult than that on the Angry Channel. Oh my God, if AIDS was here, what the fuck would he be doing with VSOP as an acronym? Now, does this smell different? Possibly smells a bit lighter. It smells very similar. Maybe a bit lighter. Oh, it tastes better. Definitely tastes better. Like if I was going to sit back with these as a sipper, I'd have them on a big block of ice, I think. And probably the Armagnac definitely tastes better and goes down better than the brandy. Satisfying pop. I've not tasted this one before. When I've had cognac before, it's been a different brand. This was a good price at Costco. It's as simple as that. I am a cheap bastard. Let's see, what does this one smell like? Unsurprisingly, smells quite similar. They're all wine-based brandies from France. Probably subtle differences. I'm not like a Poncy spirit wine person with the vocabulary to say what the difference is. What's it taste like there? Okay, I probably prefer that. Taste-wise, straight. I probably prefer that cognac. It's probably, I don't think, you remember I said I'd have it with a big block of ice? I think cognac aficionados around the world collectively clutch their pearls and went, no! I don't think you're meant to have cognac on ice. I'm not sure, though. I also don't care. I do things that I like, not the things I should do. So, All right, so I got those. So cognac. All right, I am just going to, hey, my cocktail chronicles, my little Bible. I trust this guy. What the variations does he say I should do with the sidecar? 70 or 76? Hash Slaventar? Not 76. Is that the... Okay, the sidecar. 2 ounces of... See, this guy says brandy. Other people say cognac. This is where I discovered I like brandy in cocktail. Okay, so it's mostly brandy with this guy. Some people have it more... I'm going to look up and see if I get different. This guy says 2 ounce brandy, 3/4 ounce Cointreau, 1/2 ounce lemon juice. Okay, so it's mostly brandy in his book. And that's good. Put my little placeholder in there. I am just going to look it up on a site and see if someone else suggests different quotients. Seeing I'm on the Difford site, I'll just look there. Sidecar. Cocktails. Biggle sidecar. Gennaro side. Grand sidecar. Lady sidecar. Parisian sidecar. Okay, they've got a classic spec and a Difford spec. So let's see what the differences are. The classic spec. 1 2/3 shot cognac. 1 shot triple sec, which is the Cointreau. 2/3 of a shot lime juice. So that, again, that's really different ratios, which is interesting. The Difford's mix is 1 1/2 shots cognac, 1 shot triple sec, 3/4 shot lemon juice, and then something else. Chartreuse blanc. What is Chartreuse blanc? Or comment. Complex and sweet. I've never heard of this. It's some sort of white wine, I assume. Chartreuse blanc. Blanc. Pinot de Chantres. Regional French aperitif. Okay, it's an aperitif made with wine. Okay. You know what? I'm going with... So the differences are, and again, I always find this interesting when different people have different ratios for the thing. This guy's way heavier on the brandy. He says 2 ounce brandy, 3/4 ounce Cointreau, 1/2 ounce lemon juice. Difford's idea of the classic spec is 1 2/3 shot cognac, which is less, 1 shot of the Cointreau, which is more, 2/3 of a shot of lemon juice, which is more. So Difford's reckon less of the brandy and more of the other components. But this dude is where I got into sidecars. So I'm going with him. I'm going to make these with 2 ounces of the brandies, 3/4 ounce Cointreau, 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. All right. I remember that. All right. Now I need to set up my camera. It's just about ready now. Bobo, starting home brewing with isolation. See, projects. We should all have projects. Absolutely. All right, I'm just going to set my camera up. What's it doing? Right, what's that doing? Got to stand here. All right, I want to do it over this way a bit. Get the fridge out of the shot, basically, and you see some of my bottles. That's it. It's slightly weird because there's missing bits in the curtain. So that's good. That's good. I need my shaker. Shake like a Polaroid picture, and I want these glasses. Okay, this glass, this glass. Ooh. Maybe I'll get Mrs. Angry to help me. She'll be off camera, but I might get her to do a blind taste test. That could be fun. I'll know what I'm doing, but she won't. I'll see. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That'll be fun. All right. So I'm going to put my ice in my shaker. just got to get ready. Get this out of the way. Put this bit of ice in there too. Just get organized. Got to get organized. What's that a reference to? Who knows that one? I got to get organized. All right. I'm going to make my coupe glasses. 3 coupe glasses ready. 1, 2, 3. There's that one. Hopefully no bugs died in it. That's probably fine. All right. I just have to check if Mrs. Angry is going to go along with what I want to do. Put this in here. Hey, can you help me with something? You'll be off camera, but I'm just going to ask you to taste 3 drinks. Like sit down and tell me which one you prefer. Okay, I'll call you in. All right. Mrs. Angry has agreed to go along with my shenanigans. Just knock something out. Just going to do that there so you can see me while I do it, even though it's a really unflattering angle. Adriana, that's what I'm doing now. I'm doing different versions of the cocktail right now. Gecko's back. Hey, man. Oh, okay. It was your car Bluetooth that was called. That sounds about right, Gecko. That's fine. All right. So I'm going to do this now. I'm going to be making my favorite cocktail. One of my favorite cocktails, the sidecar. But I've never done this. 3 variations and compare them side by side. So it's I need to get some. Look, I'm cheating. I am not using fresh lemon juice. Thanks to Costco, these huge bottles of lemon juice. But it's pretty good. Fresh lemon juice is actually better, but this is pretty good. I've got a little bit left in the fridge, but I'm going to need a new one. Right, so that's it. Lemon juice. Oh, I just need to get my Cointreau. Right. So then I will be all ready. Where's my Cointreau? It's down here. Okay. All right. Yeah, Gecko, we all had a lot of fun with you sharing that stuff last night. It was great. Loved it. Right, just going to get my camera set up. Remember to switch on my audio recorder because I forgot that once. I had it and I didn't have it recording properly. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Okay, come on. Kick in. There you go. You can start. You're good. Loading. Stamina mode. Yes, we're good. We're good. Okay, so gonna go live. I've got my brandies, my Cointreau, my lemon juice, my glasses. We are good. Okay, good to go. Just got to start things. G'day, cocktail lovers. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're looking after yourself in these strange times that we're going through. If anyone is ever watching this years down the line going, what strange times is he referring to? It's coronavirus, COVID-19. You must know. I think any time in the next 10 years, if anyone sees a video or anything with someone going, strange times, you'll know it was the coronavirus where we're all doing the social isolation, staying at home, not going out. This is an easy cocktail and a very good one. This is one of my top 2 cocktails. Last video was a whiskey sour. My 2 favorites of simple standard cocktails, the whiskey sour and this one, the sidecar. Now, I learned to make this using brandy. And then subsequently, I found out a lot of people say they make it with cognac. Here's the thing, cognac is just a fancy brandy. Brandy is basically distilled from wine or sometimes fruit or fruit-flavored wine. Standard brandy is from grape wine. Then you get cognac. That's just special because it comes from the cognac region of France. You know, like you can't call it champagne unless it's from the Champagne region of France. You can't call it cognac unless it's from the cognac version. And there's also Armagnac, which is, again, another brandy from the Armagnac region of France. They use different grapes, and if something is just called a brandy, who knows where the grapes came from. Although by coincidence, the three I'm going to compare in this video are all French. A French brandy, French cognac, obviously, and Armagnac. So the sidecar, very easy to make. It's only three components. It's brandy or cognac or Armagnac or something similar, and an orange liqueur like Cointreau or Triple Sec, and lemon juice. It's that simple. Now, you look around, you'll find a few different ratios given for those three components. I'm going with the first one I learned, which is very heavy on the brandy. It's 2 ounces brandy, 3/4 an ounce of Cointreau I'll be using, and 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. A lot of the things I've seen online have less brandy and more Cointreau and more lemon juice, but I'm going with the original recipe that I found. It's actually when I first found out I liked brandy in cocktails, because I really didn't know that until I had a sidecar. It's a great drink, and this is the first time I've done this. I'm going to compare the three side by side. I'm going to make one with brandy, one with Armagnac, and one with cognac, and then try them side by side and see which I prefer. And just for fun, I'm going to get Mrs. Angry in to taste test them blind. She won't know what's what, and she'll be off camera because she's a professional who doesn't want to be associated with my foolishness. So she'll taste it off camera. But I thought it would be fun to get her reaction to a blind taste test of the three, and because I'm going to know what they are when I drink them. So first up, I'm going to make one with brandy. Fork. Sorry, I need to rinse this. It's full of sugar syrup, which will completely affect the taste of the drink. Ugh. This is the joy of editing. All right. I now just got paranoid that now that's recording. And I just got paranoid for a second that I wasn't actually recording. I've done that. Trust me, I've done that. Okay. Now, all three of the brandies I'm using are called VSOP, VSOP, which stands for Very Special Old Pale. Sometimes they're called VS and sometimes VSOP. That's the fancier one. That means that all the brandies are, because it can be a blend, means the youngest brandy has been aged at least 4 years. I'm not sure how much a mere pleb like I would actually tell the difference, but I don't know how much I'll tell the difference between brandy and cognac and Armagnac. But I'm going to make the first one 2 ounces of brandy. Three-quarters of an ounce of Cointreau. And where's my lemon juice? Don't know why I sing things when I do that. Definitely not showing this dodgy bottle of lemon juice on the video so I can appear sophisticated. People would be outraged in cocktail land that I'm using bottled lemon juice. What they don't know won't hurt them. And 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. We give this a quick shake. And strain this into a coupe glass. All right, now put the lid back on the brandy. What are you doing? Gonna knock it over, you clown. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing with Armagnac. I've got to put it in the right thing. The number of times I put it in the wrong thing is ridiculous. I do it all the time. Now, if I was being a real purist, I'd be rinsing out the shaker between things, but I'm not being a real purist. Doing it quick and dirty. That's what she said. What did I say? 3/4 of an ounce of Cointreau. 3/4 of an ounce of Cointreau. 3 sidecars. I'm going to get a bit drunk. And half an ounce of lemon juice. Okay, that's the end of that lemon juice, as I predicted. Put that aside. Open a new bottle. Next best thing to fresh squeezed, freshly unscrewed. Faulty Towers reference. Okay, shake this one as well. Strain it. Stella, make all the filthy comments, okay? I'm probably going to double fist again, so we can make filthy comments about that. All right, last one. The cognac with a satisfying pop. Okay, 2 ounces of cognac. Another thing, probably cognac lovers would frown at me just making cocktails with it. They, you should just have unadulterated cognac. Go away. I hate pedants and purists. Although I can be a snob with some things, I have to admit. 3/4 of an ounce of Cointreau. Don't forget the lemon juice. It's important. Half an ounce of lemon juice. There we go. Half an ounce of lemon juice. I'm being a little bit cavalier with the measures, I think. But there's not much variation. Probably a slight variation. Take this one. Strain it into the third glass. So I've done the same process with the Armagnac and the cognac. So I now have 3 sidecars, and now I'm going to taste them. First, this is the brandy cognac. Brandy sidecar, I should say. Such a nice drink. It's just got the zesty taste from the lemon. It's very bright, as people say. Very good summer drink. Just a good drink. That's quite nice. Now I'll do a side by side. This is the Armagnac. There is more definite flavor from the Armagnac. It's definitely different. I don't know that one's better than the other, but it's definitely different. Well, I'll have to try the cognac now. It's a slightly more amber color from the cognac. I'm not sure I can really taste a difference. I think the first time I double fisted cocktails, I said I don't normally do that. I think it's my thing now, double fisting. Brandy. Armagnac. Cognac. Oh, they're all good. As I tasted, as I said, the recipe that I was using uses it biases a lot heavier to the brandy than some other recipes I've seen. Maybe it would do better with slightly less brandy and slightly more of the other components. It's a great drink, though. I honestly think none of them are bad, but I think I probably prefer it with the brandy. There's a more distinctive taste with the Armagnac and the cognac. So if you're a particular fan of Armagnac or cognac, you'd like those. But I don't have a huge preference for any of those. I think the brandy one is probably my favorite. I think at this point, I'll call in Mrs. Angry and get her to do a blind test. Can you come in and taste these for me? Sure. All right. Yeah, no, you won't be on camera. Like, stand about there. All right, to protect the innocent, Mrs. Angry is not going to be on camera. Tell you what, you can keep your favourite one if you like. You can take it back and watch some TV with your favourite one. So take a sip of this one. Mm-hmm. There are 3 you need to taste for me. Sip of that one. Initial thoughts? Yeah, favoured with that one? How was that?
It's quite lemony, isn't it?
Yeah. Try this one. Mm-hmm. A difference in that one?
Yeah.
Can you?
It's a bit kind of lighter somehow.
Mm-hmm. And this one?
It's obviously the same drink.
Yes, but with a different component in each of them.
Oh, I prefer the last one.
Okay, so Mrs. Angry and I both prefer a brandy sidecar.
Oh.
So that was the second one was a Armagnac sidecar, and the first one you had was a cognac sidecar. So there are all sorts of brandies, but this is just brandy. Cognac and Armagnac are kind of snobby. Do you want to take this one with you?
I want to try them all again.
Okay. This is the brandy one. We'll go in the reverse order. And I'll actually tell you what they are as you drink them this time, so you can pace.
Okay.
There's that one, and then there's this one. This is the Armagnac. Mm. And finally, the cognac. Mm-hmm. Being really careful not to spill any of these. Second taste, what did you think?
Yeah, I think the brandy one's sweeter.
I think for me, the Armagnac and the cognac have a more distinctive alcohol taste to them. And so if you like that, you'll like them more. But we both agree one just made with brandy is actually our favoured of the 3. So there you go. Side-by-side test of 3 variations of the sidecar. The Angry household, we like it just made with brandy, which, as I said, is how I actually was first introduced to the sidecar, made with brandy. I only tried it with cognacs later. But yeah, you might taste test difference. So if you try a similar experiment yourself, I'd love to hear which one you like most, or if you've tried the different ones in the past, let me know in the comments which one you like. And come back for more fabulous cocktail times in the future. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit the little bell to get notifications. Do the thumbs up so the algorithm thinks someone loves me. And I hope to see you again real soon. Do you want to take this one with you?
Yeah.
Yes. Mrs. Angry is taking the brandy one with her. That's okay. I should drink 3 of them. Thank you. That was a fun sort of That'll be That will be interesting to edit. All right, I'm going to switch off the camera and the audio recorder. Stop, stop, stop. All right, switch that off. Back and join you fine people in chat now. Okay. Woo. Triple fisting, and I'm reduced to double fisting. So, yes, cognac is darker. Armagnac was probably the lightest in color of the three. And again, different cognacs are different dark. I mean, you can even see in the bottles hold up there a bit. The Armagnac, the cognac is much darker than the Armagnac. You can't really see with the brandy because the bottle's green, not clear, so you can't really see the brandy. Bravo, 5 stars. Thanks, Strictly Sega. Gecko, mix all three and taste it. It would taste pretty much the same if you mix them all in. Yes, Megaleech, actually, that's a good point. Although I've called my cocktail channel Angry Cocktails. If someone discovers me through that, they won't understand the angry part. But that's okay. It's branding. It's branding. I've got a known brand, Angry Aussie, so I'm going with it. Cheers. It's definitely the Armagnac and the cognac taste more like booze than the brandy does. Probably a bit more winey too. They taste a bit more like wine. Got to think of what to make next. I'll edit this tomorrow. Probably even upload it tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow or Tuesday. Wednesday at the latest, because then it's like something for the weekend. It gives people a chance to go, if they agree with me that this is a good drink, and it is a good drink, one of my favorites, pretty easy. You just need a brandy, an orange liqueur, and lemon juice, and you're set. It's a great beverage. Sometimes the simple things are the best. Oh yeah, Gecko, you were literally max headroom glitching. It broke up, and it was actually looping stuff. Like it would max headrooming was the best way to describe it, actually, just as the signal broke up before it dropped out altogether. But that's the joy of the internet. All the packets of information go around, and sometimes they don't assemble the right way. So it's just a thing that happens. Oh my God, it's already... So this is going long. This is going long because I've got 2 fucking cocktails to drink here. I'm not about to scull them, so... we're going long. There's the lemon, even though there was only like half an ounce of lemon juice, it's very lemony. So I probably wouldn't make it with more lemon juice. I might follow like some of the other recipes, say to have less brandy and more orange liqueur. That might be worth experimenting with. But I definitely wouldn't put more than half an ounce of lemon juice in, I don't think. What's the other one? A Grand Sazerac I looked at. What's in that? Absinthe, Grand Marnier, which is just another orange liqueur. Bourbon, bitters. Oh, okay, so they say Angostura and Peychaud's bitters. So it's different from a normal... Oh, it's different from a normal Sazerac in that they say to use an orange liqueur. Okay. Yeah, that's right. So Bourbon and orange liqueur, they say Grand Marnier. I would use Cointreau because I have it. Or maybe I have a blood orange liqueur, something a bit different. The history of the Sazerac. Let's have a history lesson. The history of the Sazerac cocktail by Simon Difford, the boss of the Difford's website. Traditionally based on cognac or rye whiskey. Essentially, it's merely an old-fashioned made with Peychaud's bitters of Angostura and flavored with a dash of absinthe. And it is. It's basically an old-fashioned with a dash of absinthe and different bitters. Legend has it the Sazerac was originally made with cognac, but due to the Phylloxera plague hitting cognac supplies in the 1870s, rye whiskey was substituted. As bourbon started to dominate American whiskey, so many bartenders started making Sazeracs with bourbons rather than rye. The truth appears to be that Sazerac was always a whiskey cocktail. Indeed, it appears it was originally called an improved whiskey cocktail. Because that's the other thing, the old-fashioned for a long time was simply called the cocktail. And this is the whiskey cocktail with a little change, got a little bit of absinthe in it. However, there are many who fervently object to the use of bourbon, including Stanley Clisby Arthur, who in his 1937 famous New Orleans Drinks and How to Mix 'em wrote, "For while bourbon may do for a julep, it won't do for a real Sazerac." I like Sazeracs made with rye whiskey. I also like them made with bourbon and or cognac. All three spirits make a good Sazerac, each very different. Rye is obviously more robust and spicier, while the bourbon is softer and cognac softer still. After trying all three, I profess to preferring rye, or a combination of all three, equal parts each. A tad schizo perhaps, but each spirit contributes some of their personality, resulting in a very complex Sazerac. I like the idea of that. Maybe doing half a shot of rye, half a shot of bourbon, half a shot of cognac. That could be good. Bitters. Sazerac simply not a Sazerac without Peychaud bitters. But many recipes, I basically got Peychaud's bitters specifically for this. Many recipes, including Stanley Clisby Arthur's, also call for a dash of Angostura aromatic bitters. I've been guilty of using 3 dashes of Angostura in the past, but I was also guilty of making my Sazeracs with a blend of bourbon and cognac. And a Sazerac made with these softer spirits can benefit from heavy bittering. However, 1 dash will suffice, especially when using rye as your base spirit. Don't be tempted to forego the Angostura altogether, as it adds a special something to the drink. Do you like the way I'm reading this? This is me several cocktails in, basically. Found reactions to gas station endlessly funny. 3 stages of that's big. That's big. Oh my God, it goes on forever. Yes, and Meg Leach, that's what she said. Back to the history of the Sazerac, because I'm enjoying this. Sugar cube or sugar syrup? Regular different guide readers will know my bias towards sugar syrup over granulated sugar. I agree with you. Let alone a sugar cube. For support, I turn to Embry, who writes, traditionally, the Sazerac, like the old-fashioned, is made by first saturating a lump of sugar with bitters and then muddling it. In the interest of simplicity and better drinks, however, we've abandoned loaf sugar in favor of sugar syrup. As do I. The action of dampening a sugar cube with a splash of water and bitters, then muddling creates a syrup, albeit one with crystals of undissolved sugar, for the drinker to crunch upon. Surely Embry is right, and using a quality homemade sugar syrup makes more sense and a better Sazerac. I definitely am sugar syrup over granulated sugar. Some people like that, but I don't. Balance of sugar and bitters makes or breaks a Sazerac. Sugar should just take the edge off the spirit and the bitters, but not produce a sweet drink. With regards to dilution, again, to quote Embry, the Sazerac is a sharp, pungent, thoroughly dry cocktail. To most people, however, the combination of absinthe and whiskey is not particularly pleasing. While whiskey lovers do not like the sharp, biting taste that the absinthe imparts, absinthe lovers prefer their absinthe straight, dripped, frappéd, or mixed with gin rather than whiskey. Even among my various New Orleans friends, I've yet to find a Sazerac addict. I love a Sazerac. Made using classical proportions and methods, Sazerac can indeed be a thoroughly dry cocktail, perhaps a tad too dry and punchy. Achieving the correct fine balance of sugar and bitters is crucial, but so is dilution. Overstir or use wet ice and the drink will be too dilute. Use double frozen ice straight from the freezer and even a prolonged stir, you're unlikely to achieve spot-on dilution. Therefore, to be certain of controlled, consistent dilution, I prescribe stirring with double frozen ice and half a shot of chilled water. That seems obsessive to me. A garnish. The oils from a twist of lemon make this drink. A fine spray is enough. Too much lemon starts overpowering the flavor. I don't drop the zest into the drink as there's something off-putting about the lemon touching your lips as you sip the drink. As Stanley Clisby Arthur says, do not commit the sacrilege of dropping the peel into the drink. He goes on to say, some bartenders put a cherry in a Sazerac. Very pretty, but not necessary. Now the mixing method. Although considered sacrilege by many and classically a misdemeanor, I believe this drink is great served shaken rather than stirred. However, bowing to peer pressure, I have formally stirred my Sazeracs. Now I sit between both camps and instead throw rather than stir my Sazeracs. Throwing aerates and opens, but does not leave the unattractive foamy top that shaking does. The fuck is throwing? He's got a link to what is throwing. Throwing a cocktail. That's using a Boston shaker and doing long pours between the thing, and that aerates it a bit. Goodness me. That's a bit fucking obsessive, honestly. Stella, you enjoy the rendition. Thank you. Thank you. Glad you enjoy it. Gecko, remembering Kingsman, the guy's describing how to make a kind of drink. His definition of a martini, which was kind of a piss take of James Bond's shaken not stirred, is a really fucking shit instruction from a martini. The way he says, because he's saying a gin martini, gin of course, and he says, and then just show it to an unopened bottle of vermouth, which I think is meant to be an incredibly wanky way of saying, make the drink gin heavy with just a little vermouth. Then you're basically just drinking fucking gin. But anyway. Oh, wow, Mokon, you take lemon slices out of your drink and eat them. You like the sour. You're a madman. You're a madman. Yeah, I'll never know why Fleming gave James, I assume it was Fleming and not just the movies, gave James Bond the line of saying vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. Because you don't shake martinis, you stir them. Shaking is really gauche. Although one place I frequent specified if you're having overproof vodka or gin in your cocktail, then shaking may be appropriate just to get a little dilution on the overproof. Yeah, strictly Sega, shaking gin bruiser. Although traditionally you shake cocktails that have a citrus in them, or if there's something that really needs to be blended in. If your cocktail is just spirits, you don't shake it as a general rule. But once citrus is part of the whole shebang, that's when you usually shake it. Gecko, shaking and stirring does make a difference. With ice particularly, either stirring or shaking with ice does a little bit of dilution to the drink, which actually does change the taste of the drink. Shaking aerates the drink, which can change the consistency of it. And the consistency of the drink affects how it tastes in your mouth, actually. You know what I'm going to do? This is not what I'd normally do, but for my last sidecar, I'm going to put it on ice. It's been sitting there for a while. I want some ice, so I'm going to put it in an old-fashioned glass with a big square of ice. because I like a cold drink, and it's just been sitting there for a while, and its temperature's been going up. So I'll tip it out of the coupe. Let it sit on the ice. Actually, Gecko, you raise a good point, because I've taken to doing comparison videos. An interesting one would be shaking and stirring a cocktail, the same thing, and then seeing if it actually tastes different or if it feels different in the mouth. That's something I'll do. Yeah, no, that's another good one. Shaking and stirring. At the very least. Oh, the other thing, of course, stirring, like if you're not shaking a cocktail, you want to at least stir it with, or you could just pour it over ice. That's the other thing. You could just pour it over ice to chill. Because the other thing shaking and stirring on ice does is chill it. If you're like me, like a nice icy drink. Okay. Gecko. Weird as fuck. Okay. I'm just going to go, you do you, bro. But you heat up your beer a bit in the microwave, pour it in the glass, drink it with a straw. Your husband says that's sacrilege and calls you heathen. Look, dude, I'm not one to fucking cause controversy. I'm going to side with your husband. I am literally going to side with your husband on this one. I don't drink beer at all, so I'm not that vested in it, but that sounds seriously weird. I don't know. I love it. Just in the space of a couple of comments, we've got Mokong eating lemons and you warming a beer. That makes perfect sense. You've got a broken tooth, cold really hurts. That makes perfect sense. It's still pretty funny. It is pretty funny. It's absolutely functional, what you're doing there. Slightly warmed beer and drinking with a straw rather than drinking because you've got a broken tooth and it causes pain. Absolutely functional, makes perfect sense, and it's absolutely legit that you're doing it. Sounds fucking weird as fuck, though. Just when you say it, sounds so fucking weird. I love it. I'm saying that as a good way. I love weird. I'm just such a fan of weird. I'm still fucking in a quandary on ordering from this website. Because it's like, these drinks, $120 for the booze, which is actually quite reasonable. Fucking obscure high alcohol absinthes are expensive. So, in fact, that's $80. But that grain neutral spirit, only $40 is a bargain. But then delivery is fucking $45. That's adding a third to the cost. Ugh. I'm in a fucking quandary here. That's a brutal fucking delivery charge. But this website, it's called Masters of Malt. They have really fucking cool stuff that no one else has. I'm really in a quandary. So it's like two very hard to get boozes, but Jesus, it's like $166. Jesus, that's a lot of money. Fuck. It's my birthday. Should I get it for myself for my birthday? Is that my excuse? Yeah, Adriana, I don't think multiple items reduces shipping. But does it increase shipping? Yeah, no, see, Gecko, this is like saying, I feel like international shipping would be like fucking $40. Like far more expensive than booze. Not worth it. Okay, thanks for encouraging my debauchery, Stella. Treat yourself. Okay, I'm actually going to. If I bought something else, would the delivery go up or stay? Stay the same. Ooh, old and rare. What's in there? Old and rare whiskey. Jesus, fuck! They're not joking. Sorry, that's $1,800. $2,500. Oh, $8,800 for a bottle of fucking whiskey. Holy fuck! Sorry, I'm lost. I wasn't meant to be here. Let me out, please. I'm scared. Oh, okay. They have bottled cocktail. Campari. Fuck off. I hate you, Campari. Contra, Angleterre, Kahlua, Frizz, Aperol. The other thing I like to do is actually buy Australian products and support. I know who to ask as well for an Australian overproof product. What is happening in Whiskey Land on this site? I looked at that before, I think, with that. Oh, sorry, famous Greece. Jesus, that's really cheap. Got a very low rating. It's like they've got a $27 bottle of the famous Goose that's got a 2.5-star rating, or an 86 bottles of Lagavulin 16-year-old that's got 4.5-star rating, or $89 Slipknot whiskey that's got a 5-star rating. Oh, Japanese whiskey. Maybe I should get a Japanese whiskey. Because I don't have any Japanese whiskies. Maybe they do Japanese single malt. I'll search that. Because I don't have any single malt whiskey either. Japanese whiskey. Oh, I misspelled whiskey. Oh, they have a Japanese whiskey tasting set. Maybe I want to get a tasting set. Mars Maltage Cosmo, Hibiki Japanese Harmony, Nika Tesseru Pure Malt, the Cheetah, Nika Whiskey from the Battle. From the barrel. Not the battle, Jesus. Someone's drinking all these fucking cocktails is getting to me. All encouraging my debauchery. Yes, I like that, Gecko. For the taste of Everclear, the simple saying, tastes like burning. Gecko, what do Aussies think of Yellowtail wine? I'm not a wine drinker. Has anyone drunk Yellowtail wines? What did they think of it? Ooh, Jesus, $109 for Hibiki Japanese Harmony. Japanese blended whiskey. God, 21-year-old, $300. Fuck me. Blended Japanese whiskey for $65. Japanese gin for $155. Japanese rum for $100. Japanese gin for 77. Japanese bitters, mommy. Japanese gin for $40. Japanese gin for $86. Japanese whiskey advent calendar. Oh, Jesus, 326, and it's sold out anyway. Dokkan, Japanese sake. Never really tasted. I have had sake in a Japanese restaurant. I've not really got into sake cocktails. Right, I'm going to go back to, I searched on rye, and I think there were some overproof ryes that showed up. Sazerac straight rye, 45%. Rittenhouse, which I got, and that's less than I paid for it. It's on special by the looks of it. $65. Pikesville rye, 55%. Jesus, $117 for some fucking whiskey. Fuck. Bullet rye, 45%. That's actually, I don't really check how much does Dan Murphy's sell that for. Search for Bullet. Bullet rye, $59.99. And how much is it on this site? $52.10. Cheaper than Dan Murphy's, but with the delivery charge thrown on top of it. I do like Bullet whiskey, actually. 40, 46, 50%, 50%. There's a few, Jesus, $163 for fucking whiskey. Jesus. Has anyone got a serious overproof one, though? New York Distilling Company. Boutique Rye Company, $62. 92 proof. 46, 45, 40, 45, 47, 45, 57. That's, oh, Jesus, $107. Fucking hell. It's all too much. It's all too much for me. I think Yellowtail is a popular wine in Australia, but I'm not a wine drinker, so I don't really know. I don't know why I was thinking of it, but I was thinking of making another cocktail, but I'm seriously fucked, so there's no way I'm making another. This way, which I guess actually I've had one or two too many cocktails to call this drinking in moderation, but it's drinking to stay conscious, to not be absolutely shit-faced and not feel sick in the morning. We have a like Nurofen before bedtime, and that way I hopefully won't wake up with a headache. Oh, Gecko, you had 18-year-old Glenfiddich. Good stuff. See, this is the thing, man. Spirits in Australia is very expensive, and that's mostly tax. Like, I think at least half the cost of spirits in Australia is tax. And I think it probably sometimes surprises people, but I think that's okay. For someone who's obviously into, buying booze and making cocktails, I am completely okay with booze being made expensive, because it's a fucking social evil, quite honestly. And making it expensive to fucking make it less likely people are going to abuse it is a good thing. And even though it means, like, I'm going to take a hit. Like, I forget how much I paid. Like I said, this site had Rittenhouse Rye for cheaper than I paid for it. God. PBR, I am on late. Hey, man. It's because I made a bunch of cocktails that I have to finish, and I'm on the last one. I wasn't going to drink them quickly, so Christ, I'm probably going to be on until 11 at this stage. It's like 10:30 now. Ow! Fuck! Stop that! I hit Mimsy's climbing post. Oh, I had a few drinks. Ooh, Gecko, that's a tip. You've got a military friend to have to buy booze from paste. I don't know if that works in Australia. That might work in the US. I'm not sure if it works in Australia. Benglish, definitely drink water before going to bed. And often wake up during the night as well. It's like, because I've been drinking liquid. Normally, I don't drink any liquid for 2 hours before I go to bed, just so I don't wake up in the middle of the night wanting to take a piss. But obviously I'm going to be drinking liquid until just before I go to bed. So somewhere in the middle of the night, I'm going to wake up and want to have a piss, and I'll drink more water then. So I'll drink water before I go to sleep, and I'll probably wake up in the middle of the night wanting to have a piss, and I'll drink water again then. Then I'll wake up in the morning and drink more water. because that's apparently the main source of a hangover headache is dehydration. Everything being a bit tight from dehydration. So drinking a bit of water is a good idea. PBR, having a bottle of red, good for you, my friend. Gecko, okay, you have an idea. Why is being drunk called being pissed? Basically, because you usually have an overwhelming urge to piss, and if you get too drunk, you'll probably piss yourself. And if you don't, you'll be like me and have to get out of bed halfway through the night to have a piss. I think it's tied to literally needing to piss from drinking all the liquid. But yeah, we're all trying to cope, my friend. And that's, as I said before, that's why I do the live streams, because I think it's good that we actually do the virtual socializing. I was having a bit of discourse with someone on Facebook. They're living by themselves and they're going like, it's a bit tough. And I went, I bet it is. I think the people doing it toughest at the moment are people who are living on their own, because that's just fucked. To actually be completely isolated is fucked. And people with small kids, because being trapped in a small space with small kids is fucking diabolical. I, on the other hand, I am super fucking spoiled. You know, I cohabit with the love of my life, and we have our young adult children in the house. We don't have any little kids. We have our young adult children who are actually quite good company. So we're not alone. We don't have any antsy little kids. So I am genuinely fucking spoiled at the moment. So I talked with a friend who has small kids who is very stressed, and talking to people who are living alone, and it's fucked for people who are living alone. So yeah, I am absolutely fucking spoiled. PBA, you like the English version, getting trolley-eyed. Oh, Megalich, you want me to explain Oily Josh? Okay, this is a very Catholic thing. And this is like having grown up in Catholic schools and being an altar boy and all that sort of thing. Jesus Christ. Okay, the name we use in the West, Jesus, is actually just a kind of anglicized, translated version of the Hebrew name Yeshua, Joshua. So Josh, and Christ is not a name. It's actually a descriptor. It just means the anointed one, as in anointed with oil. So Oily Josh is Jesus Christ. I did not invent that. I found that on Tumblr or something, that Jesus Christ can be modernized into Oily Josh. So today is Zombie Oily Josh Day. So Stella, yeah, you're living your own health problems in an outback town. Whew, no more shitty Tinders. The fucking dating apps must have dropped to such a low rate of usage with all this going on. I mean, I'm sure some people are still saying to hell with it and doing hookups, but it must have dropped off a lot. I was like trolling on Twitter the other day. She goes, hey, so how horny are the single people now? With seclusion for a couple of weeks. And I got a few miffed replies like, don't make fun of me, motherfucker. It's just like, yeah, I am actually being a bastard. I say that. Did Jesus have a surname? According to some writings, a tradition at the time would have been to use your father's name as your surname. Like in Scotland, the Mac means son of, like MacDonald is son of Donald. And that's consistent across quite a few languages, that there's a surname that says your the offspring of someone. Scandinavian, is it? It's like Björk's real name is Gutmann's daughter. There's what's Björk? Is she's not Swedish. She's Icelandic. Björk. She's Icelandic. Okay, so her name is Björk Gutmann's daughter. So it's an Icelandic thing to have daughter in the surname. So she's Björk, daughter of the person. So in some writings, there's a thing like Yeshua's surname would have been his father's name. So, you know, reputedly his father's name was Joseph, which is, again, is a Western name. It's not a fucking Middle Eastern name. But let's just say his father's name was Joseph. So his name would have been Yeshua ben Joseph. One of my favorite movies, Jesus of Montreal, is like from the late 80s, early 90s, a French-Canadian film about these actors who try to revamp a passion play and get really into it. Like when they did some research of like forbidden research from a Catholic point of view, they're basically suggesting Jesus could have been the illegitimate son of a Roman centurion because there was a record of someone called, because there was a notable Roman soldier whose name was Pantera, and there was someone on the roles in the area where Jesus was known as Yeshua ben Pantera. So there's a suggestion that Jesus might have been the illegitimate son of a Roman soldier, like a Roman centurion. So who knows? I think that's where the death metal band Pantera gets their name, actually. Yes, Adriana, that's a joke I heard about doing hookups. I saw someone on Twitter saying, no, girl, don't do, just no hookups. For all you know, the night you hook up with someone is the night they say, that's it, total lockdown, no one goes anywhere, and you're stuck with this fucking loser in a one-bedroom apartment and he never cleans his toilet. So yeah, no hookups. Stella, you had a guy try it on and say, no, you filthy FIFO, fly. Didn't they introduce limits on FIFOs? And actually, because we had this conversation in previous live streams about the fly-in, fly-out workers in the mines. It was obviously a huge risk. I thought they had actually placed a limitation on the FIFOs and said, no, you actually have to stay on site. You either have to stay wherever the fuck you've flown out to or stay on site. Those are the two choices. You are no longer flying in, flying out, because that's too high risk. Because Western Australia got really strict with closing the border. So, yeah. So, yeah, you want to know about crucifixion? Pretty big deal. Why was no one there 3 days later when Evita died? The whole country lost its mind. Oh, because, again, biblically, Jesus was a bit of a fringe figure. He had followers, but yeah, he was just dead. They crucified him and he was dead. And that was it. Put him in a tomb and he was dead. Oh, bonjour, Lee. You've come in very late, but I'm still here because that's the thing. So he's saying still they've banned interstate FIFA. Oh, but they can fly in and fly out from Perth, which is still a risk. Yeah, but yeah, they only closed the borders of the state. Okay. That's a bit weird. Oh, who knows? Again, you know, Australia is doing so well compared to most of the rest of the world. Let's look at the numbers. Gone this whole 2.5 hours without looking at the numbers. But let's look at the numbers. How well are we doing? So worldwide, according to Johns Hopkins, almost up to 1.8 million cases, 530,000 of them in the US, creeping up on 110,000 deaths. Wait a second, that's really fucking high. That's nearly 5%. All right. No, wait, what is it? If it was 1 million, that'd be 10. God, that's a lot. That is a really fucking high percentage. But then again, we don't know how many cases there really are. We don't know how many deaths there really are. We just got to it's just thing. So I just want to compare how well they're doing. Look, I'm going to share a screen with you. The US with over 20,000 deaths from 500. That's really high. That's like nearly 5% fatality. That's not good. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to share the screen. Where's my share screen button? I'm going to share a Chrome tab and the COVID-19 map. So when we look at the COVID-19 map, I've got it on America. Stop that. Stop that. Okay, so it's on America, 530,000 cases, 20,000 deaths. And notably, look at this graph. It's maybe slowed a bit. Like, again, we go back a week. So it's the 12th now. So a week ago is like the 5th. Okay. On the 5th, it was 337K. The day after, 336K, so 30K up. 396K, 30K up. 429K, 30K up again. 461K, yeah, 30K up again. 496K, God, that's 35K up. 526K, so 30K up. So the US has basically been going up 30,000 cases a day, which is not great. And because they've had all the fucking people determined to go to church services over Easter, the rest of April is going to be so fucked for the US, and May is probably going to be even worse. The US is going to get a real fucking harsh dose of reality in the next month or two, because so many people are in so much fucking denial at the moment. We've got all the way down the list. Okay, so the US has got 530,000 cases with 20,000 deaths. Australia's got 6,300. We've still only got 50 deaths. Look at our graph. Look at how it's leveling out. Like the US one's just going and the Australian one is actually leveling out. Like, we might get a spike in a couple of weeks because of Easter, but Jesus, we're doing so much better than so many other people. Even just percentage-wise, we're under 1%. We're under 1% death rate, and the US is on about fucking 5%. Oh my God, they are so fucked. The US is so fucked. It's not good. Not good. Not good at all. It's not good. Oh, the other one I wanted to look at, actually, while we're looking at depressing numbers. I'm going to go out with talking about depressing numbers. Google, going to stop sharing screen. Coronavirus map, because Google has a rate per million of population. Their one's different. I'll show you this one, the Google coronavirus map. Okay, I'm going to share this one. Share screen, Chrome tab, Google's coronavirus map. Share that. Okay, so here's the Google coronavirus map, and they have cases per million people. They're saying worldwide, the average is 229 cases per million people, and Australia is actually under that, 245 cases per million people. And the fucking US, it's like 7-8 times worse, 1,600 cases per million people. Spain is horrifically worse, 3,500 per million, and Italy's not great, 2,500 cases per million people. But that thing for the US, that infection rate, 1,600 per million people, is fucking bad. It is fucking bad. Belgium's apparently bad, 2,500 per million people. Switzerland, almost 3,000 per million people. Where's Sweden? 982. So there's all this talk that Sweden wasn't doing lockdowns like everyone else, but they're about to hit a bad patch. I don't know. Ireland, 1,800 per million people. Much worse than Australia. We're fucking champions, basically. We're fucking champions. But here's the thing. We and everywhere else is facing this perilous thing where people who are obsessed only with fucking economics go like, no, we have to get the economy going again, and they risk millions of unnecessary deaths from dropping restrictions too soon. Ooh. PBR, you live in the area of Melbourne that has the most recorded cases. I also live, the rich suburbs have the most cases, and I'm sort of out Brighton way. It's a bit of a hot spot. And yes, the UK is not looking good. Where's the UK? United Kingdom is, okay, I'm going to share things again. Why don't I finish a live stream by being bleak as fuck? So the UK, 80,000 cases is coming up on, and it's coming up on 10,000 deaths. That is a really, really fucking bad. That is fucking bad. That is a fucking bad death rate. That is well over 10%. Maybe they're not testing enough people, so the total confirmed cases is wrong, but that is fucking bad. And if you look at the rate of it going up, yeah, look, it's just going straight up, like from 50k to 55k to 61k, 65k to 74k. That was a big jump. 79k. Like, it's been averaging 5,000 new cases a day, but the death rate is really fucking bad. What does the Google map say for the UK? almost 1,200 cases per million people. So like 5 times worse than Australia. The infection rate in the UK is 5 times worse than Australia. I'm drunk and almost knocked out for a glass. Fuck. Oh, what the fuck is this doing? Stop it. Yeah, Adele. Adriana. Why did I say Adele? Adriana. The one thing with the people who are being smug, like, oh, it's only got, we expect the eventual death rate to only be about 1%. I go, you know what? As soon as you or someone you care about tests positive for the virus, it's going to really bring home 1% is not 0%. And also, I'm not in a really high group, but I'm over 50. So if I contract the virus for my age group, I don't know, there's like a 2 or 3% chance I could die. And that's fucking terrifying, honestly. This thing's just floating around that I could die from. And if you get the complications, so you end up in hospital and then you end up in intensive care, the fucking likelihood just goes up. And you've heard Americans saying it only sounds bad because of the population. No, their infection rate per million of population is very bad. Very bad. Very, very, very bad. It's not good. And we don't know what's going to happen. So here's the thing with what do we do? Like, Australia at the moment appears to be doing exceptionally well compared to everywhere else. Like, really, really, really well. It's fucking great, honestly. But then we get the pressure of, oh, we need to open businesses again. It's like, as soon as we go, let's return to normal, the infection rate goes shaboom. because it's still around. And I think no one is even thinking of changing their current restrictions until at least the end of April, because by the end of April, we'll have a clear indication of if Easter caused a spike. This weekend we are in now, if this weekend caused a spike, because in most cases, symptoms take 2 to 3 weeks to show up after you're infected, or it gets bad 2 to 3 weeks after you're infected. So by the end of April, we'll have a really clear indication of if Easter caused a spike. And even if Australia manages to keep a lid on Easter, I think the US is just going to be horrific. It's just going to be awful. Oh, it's just I'm horrified at where I think the US is going to be. And even if we have done comparatively well, if we look somewhere else, like particularly the US and particularly some other European countries, and go, oh my fucking God, look what happened to them, then it really brings home, if we relax our restrictions, that's what's going to happen to us. So it's going to be very complicated. People going like, oh shit, what's the comparative risk of letting restaurants operate again, letting people go back to work normally, letting fucking, God forbid, bars operate again, versus the economic cost. Because, you know, if the US just goes down the fucking shitter like it looks like they're going to, the economic cost to that is going to be catastrophic. The UK is not looking good. A whole bunch of other European centres are not looking good. And it's like, if we're over here being relatively protected, what the fuck? You know, what the fuck do we do if we see other places going down the shitter? It's like, oh shit, that could be us. It's very difficult. It's like, you know, actually try. Hopefully the government works very closely with the medical authorities that say, hey, look, we're currently here. The threshold of things going to shit are here. If you relax restrictions A, B, C, it's going to go to here. If you relax anything more than that, it's going to go to here, which means everything collapses. The death rate goes through the roof and everything's fucked. It's going to be a real balancing act. Oh God, Sally, there's been 3 house parties in your neighborhood. Jesus. Jesus, that sucks. Adriana, you're right. A lot of people have no symptoms. Other people have mild symptoms, and they're just infecting people who are susceptible to the major symptoms. Yeah, Lucinda, you're right. That's the big balance. The balance between lots and lots of people will die, and the longer we keep stuff shut down, the more damaging it is to the economy. But if lots and lots of people die, that will fuck the economy too. So we'll have lots of dead people and a fucked economy. So the people who focus just on economics, I've just started calling them the right-wing death cult, because they're like, yeah, everyone should die. The weak should die. They should just die. I was like, get fucked. Ugh. Anyway. Oh my God, what are you doing, fridge? What the fuck is that? You have to have your 2 cents. All right, noisy fridge is telling me to go to bed. That's the big thing, and I think the borders are going to stay closed for a long fucking time, because that is a major infection vector. I think we can start trying to look at restarting different parts of the economy, but the borders are going to be more or less closed until there's a fucking vaccine, and that could be, oh, you have a friend who's got COVID-19. It's not good. It's not good. None of us have immunity to it. Over the next 18 months, we should basically all expect to get it, because by a lot of projections, at least 3/4 of the population will get it in the next 18 months. We just hope that we control the rate of spread, so we maybe get better treatments so less people die and we get closer to a fucking vaccine. Oh, Stella, Joe Hockey, he is a fucking piece of shit. Oh, the elites, the wealthy people who are all just, maybe we should let people die. You first, you motherfucking piece of shit. Oh my God. That just gets my sort of violent revolutionary zeal happening when the various fucking privileged 1% start talking about letting people die. Get fucked. Yes, Miguel, luckily I live with a mental health professional. So, and I'm not even joking. Like, if I start to fucking lose my shit, Mrs. Angry has a number of absolutely wonderful techniques that can help me fucking climb back down off my peak of stress. I've done it on videos before, tapping and EMDR. It's really good. Anyway, look, I am super fucking drunk after drinking those 3 sidecars and 2 other cocktails. I'm going to go to bed. People, my fridge doesn't so much talk as make noise. Yeah, Gecko, a 2x4 to the head. I'm all ready. Yeah. Lee, you've already lost your shit. I kind of have. Every now and then, Mrs. Angry is like, can you stop saying all that negative shit, please? And I go, what? You just keep saying those numbers and they're fucking bad. Can you please stop obsessing over those charts? Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed. Super fucking drunk. But I have, as usual, have had a very good time with you fine people. I'm going to, I don't know what time I'll get out of bed in the morning. Who fucking knows? Sometime between 8 and 10 a.m. I'll get out of bed. And then I'm going to edit the video with the sidecars and put it up. I hope you will subscribe to my Angry Cocktails channel. Show me some love, give me some support. First new channel in forever, trying to grow it. But it's also just fun cataloging a few cocktails. So I haven't done any weird ones. I think this week, because I've done a few easy cocktails, I think I'll do a few weird ones in the next week or two, just for a laugh, like weird fucking cocktails. Look after yourselves, one and all. PBR and Stella, get a room. Greg, I didn't know you were there, buddy. Look after yourself, my friend. Look after yourself, one and all. You're fabulous people. We're living in a weird, unprecedented, strange, fucked up time. We need to look after ourselves. We need to look after each other. I hope to see you again soon, probably tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. But look after yourself, one and all. You're fabulous people. In the words of the immortal, God, I've lost his name. I was going to call him an immortal legend. No, not Jeff Fennick. The Indigenous boxer. Oh God. Oh, wait, it was a Jeff Fennick line, wasn't it? Andrew Denton used to always quote Jeff Fennick saying, "I love yous all." That was actually Jeff Fennick. Anyway, we'll leave it with that. I love yous all. Look after yourselves. Take care. Yes, Lee, thank you. I was thinking of Mundine. I love yous all was actually Jeff Fennick. Take care, one and all. Hope to see you again soon. But I will say bye.